Welcome to the Base Face Network.
I got so much motherfucking design on right now.
Break it down, bring it back, make it clap. I got 3 old thoughts, new guap, where that thing, bitches on my line, and you.
Good day everyone, we are here to present about the mini project that given by Madam Flota under the subject of Business Ethics DPP 383. Here are the list of my group members' names. Muhammad Shafwan bin Muhammad Malik, Kumaran Analaki Raju, Muhammad Azim Amin Shah bin Muhammad Anazi, Nandini Anna Perempuan Patiban, and I am Pavitra Anna Perempuan Muniandi, and my matric number is 01 GPM 2NF 2028. Today, we are going to present about the most famous corporate governance, which is Petroleum National Berhad, National Petroleum Limited, and most commonly known as PETRONAS. PETRONAS is a global Malaysian energy group with presence in over 100 of countries in overall, but founded on 17 August 1974 and only owned by the government of Malaysia. Corporation is vested with all oil and gas resources in Malaysia and is entrusted with the responsibility of developing and adding values to these resources. In the annual Fortune Global 500 list for 2022, Petronas was ranked at 216. Petronas also ranked 48th globally in the 2020 Bentley Infrastructure. Now let's take a look at Board of Directors of Petronas. First and foremost, we can see Tan Sri Dato Sri Muhammad Baqir Saleh, known as the Chairman of Petronas and also Non-Independent Non-Executive Director of Petronas. YM Dato Tengku Muhammad Taufik Tengku Kamdi Jaja Aziz, President and Group Chief Executive Officer, also known as Executive Director. Ainul Azan Ainul Jamal, Chairman of Audit Committee, Member of Nomination and Remuneration Committee, and also Independent Non-Executive Director. Dato Rahali Muhammad Yusof, Chairman of Nomination and Remuneration Committee, Member of Risk Committee, and also Independent Non-Executive Director. Next, Dayaparan S. Sangarapillai, Chairman of Risk Committee, Member of Audit Committee, and also known as Independent Non-Executive Director. Dato K.Y. Mustafa, Non-Independent Non-Executive Director. YB Dato Aji Ibrahim Aji Baki, Member of Risk Committee, Non-Independent Non-Executive Director. And next, Tan Sri Zahara Ibrahim, Member of Audit Committee, Member of Nomination and Remuneration Committee, and also Independent Non-Executive Director of Petronas. Then, Lisa Mustafa, Executive Vice President and Group Chief Financial Officer and also known as Executive Director. Intan Shafinas Hussain, known as Company Secretary. And last but not least, Nur Ashikin Khalid is also known as Company Secretary. These are the list of Board of Directors of Petronas.
I'm continue from this slide, just roles of chairman. The first role is leading, chairing and overseeing the performance of the board and playing a pivotal role in the creation of the condition necessary for overall board and individual director effectiveness both inside and outside the Petronas boardroom. The second role is ensuring effective communication with the corporate member and to chair general meeting of Petronas. The third role is promoting and overseeing the highest standard of corporate governance within the board and the group. Leading the board in discussion of proposal put forward by the executive team including on strategy, risk management, governance, capital, financial reporting and M&A activity. The next role is setting an agenda for the board which is focused on strategic matters, forward-looking and evaluates and oversees the group's business. The last role is representing Petronas with external parties and fostering an open, inclusive discussion which challenges executive where appropriate. The next slide is roles of CEO. The first role is the group CEO is responsible for the day-to-day leadership and management of the business in line with the strategic framework, risk appetite and annual and long-term objective approved by the board. Leads the chief executive committee, which is CEC, in driving the performance of the business and setting the overall strategy agenda. The next role is the group CEO annually bring forward to the board both 3-year plan and annual operating plans. Once adopted, they are responsible for their implementation and delivery and report on progress at frequent and regular intervals. Group CEO appraise CEC's individual performance, encouraging their development and further training, recruiting replacement and formulating remunerations proposal for approval by the remuneration committee. The last role is their task lead responsibility for the maintenance and development of PETRONAS reputations and relationship with the media, regulators, government, local communities, suppliers, customers, trade bodies, and other stockholders.
Roles of employee in department, operation and maintenance. Make sure the proper functioning of the facilities around the Petronas corporate. Planning, strategizing, estimating, coordinating and bring together resources and schedule the maximize project performance and quality. Carry on tasks include inspection, cleaning, minor part replacement and lubrication. Field specialists search and investigate various regions for the presence of raw petroleum resources. Roles of employee in Department Human Resources. Provide more tailored development for key employees to support them in their role and context. Drive the ship from programmatic change to continuous improvement. For example, work toward empowering leaders and pilot alternative operating models. Develop a roadmap for people analytics with a combination of proven techniques with a clear link to value creation and more experimental but high value applications. Build out your digital talent strategy to support each business area in responding to technological advances. Roles of employee in department production. Responsible for managing production budgets and controlling costs associated with production operations. Responsible for preparing production reports, tracking production volumes, and documenting any operational issues or incidents that occur. Ensuring that all production activities comply with safety standards and regulation at the well pad and facilities. They identify and mitigate potential hazards and ensure that all personnel adhere to safety procedures. Supervise and manage production operations at a particular site.
For this part, I will take handle for partners and stakeholders of PETRONAS. For the first one, we have Minister of Finance. Number 2, Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Number 3, Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs. Number 4, we have National Security Council. Number 5, Department of Environment. And number 6, we have Marine Department Malaysia. For number 7, we have Malaysia Investment Development Authority. For number 8, we have Economic Planning Unit. For number 9, we have Malaysia Petroleum Resources Corporation. And last, we have National Hydrographic Center. For corporate social responsibility activities, CSR, we have 3: education, community well-being and development, and number 3, environment. First one, we have education. Education, we have plastic accessibility and youth education program. In Malaysia, we reach 130,000 individuals. For community well-being and development, we have COVID-19 relief program, community relief program, stakeholder relief program, and safety program, safe handling of chemical at school. And number 3, environment, we have e-care, Be Green, a program in Malaysia supported by Malaysia Society MNS.
Next, my turn. I will talk about ethical issue for corporate government in Malaysia. There are 3 ethical issues. For the ones, excessive executive compensation, excessive remuneration of the CEO, and other executive corporate government issue for years. Second, increased cybersecurity risks. For example, COVID-19 has exacerbated cybersecurity governance concerns because many finance teams have shifted from on-premise work to remote work. That insufficient environmental, social and governance (ESG) oversight and disclosures. Disclose the oversight of climate-related issues. This included the process follower of the board when evaluating choose and how the board monitor process against the set goal for climate-related point. So as my friend already mentioned and tell about board of director of PETRONAS, role of chairman, role of CEO, role of employee in department, operation and maintenance, human resource, production and partner and shareholder of PETRONAS corporate social responsibility activity. So that's all for us and thank you.
Care to listen. I find myself in a shit position. The man that I love sat me down last night.